I did not expect that to work.
Happy birthday, Emilia! I think this is the very first gift I have personally thought of, gotten in any way, wrapped and handed you all by myself. About time, right? I haven't asked you what you want for your birthday, but I hope this is okay. In 1947, Christian DIOR launched his first collection under his own fashion house. It featured narrow waistlines, accentuated hips and full skirts. I have taken this feminine silhouette into my design, along with another design choice DIOR often made: necklines that resemble a scarf wrapped around the shoulders. Even though I did have to take your measurements, I do hope this gift comes as a surprise. Made with love, Josefina.
So the plan for today is to start working on the pattern construction. I will be using these small pattern pieces. They're quarter sized, so they're a quarter of a full-sized pattern piece, which I know looks weird because they're so small, but they are. So I will be using these pattern pieces with darts, so they create a tight fitting bodice. Wow, you can barely see them on camera. This looks insane, and I don't know if this is gonna work. Never mind, it sort of worked. This is the back.
Doing a real-sized pattern construction today. And I'll first make the basic pattern that I start my construction with from my sister's measurements.
Was it all just a dream, just all in my head? Floating rivers upstream, the things that you said.
Wow, that's really tiring. I need a break. I've got my basic pattern set ready, so let's make some changes. We have the front panel, the sleeves, and the back panel. I'm gonna go ahead and make a mock-up /12 really fast. Ta-da!
It needs a few changes. Turns out that closing it with buttons in the side here is kinda difficult.
It's 55% linen and 45% cotton. This is a jacquard, 86% cotton, 14% polyester. And 70% of the fibers are recycled, so that's cool.
Dressing up, fixing my strut, always prepared, you never know who shows up around the corner. Maybe it's that director.
I've made instructions for myself, and I may or may not follow them. Step 1, press and sew all darts. Okay, step 2, sew together the back panels, and there are 2 of them because there is some shaping in the back seam. This is the back seam. So each sleeve is in 2 parts. I'm sewing those together now, and that's about the last thing I can do before I need to make a longer bias type than I want to make. let's officially start the really long bias tape. It needs to be able to cover the entire length of this scarf. So let's see. It should work quite perfectly actually, but I think I'm gonna put on a little bit more just in case. I'm sewing the bias tape on as if it was a facing, so this is the wrong side. I will first fold it over the seam allowance and then down once more, so it looks like this on the wrong side, and then just plain and nice like this on the right side. But I want it to be thinner, so I'm first gonna trim the seam allowance down to 0.5 centimeter, and then I'm gonna remove 1 whole centimeter from my bias tape. Okay, that ended up taking a couple of hours at least. I lost a bit of time control in the middle there because I made a dinner run. But I'd say it was definitely worth it. Because now it looks super clean from both sides. I have officially reached the most fun part. And that is to take this front panel and sew it together with... That's wrong. This front panel. This is the one with the scarf. And this works as a lining underneath. And the whole purpose is that I can take the draping on this scarf and hand stitch it to this one in a few places. That will stabilize it and make sure that the draping will actually lay where it's supposed to be. Okay, now I'm gonna sew this part together with that one. I have to cut out the facing, because I might have postponed doing that. These fray a lot, so I'm actually really glad I didn't cut them out earlier. I think I'm quickly gonna cover the edge that's not sewn to the piece with a bias tape. I cannot believe how much time I spent on... Oh, sunlight. On this one last night. In contrast, I did this one in 30 minutes this morning. There we have it. All right, so I first needed to connect these in the shoulder seam, and then I will sew this facing on to here. On the wrong side, obviously. I just miss you more than anything. Ta-da! Now I'm gonna sew this one to the left side of the front panel. Next step will be the sleeves. And they look good. Maybe I should wear this on the wrong side at least once, so people can see all the details I spent so much time on. There are now 4 things left to do. I need to hem the sleeves, sew the side seams, hem the bottom edge, and then buttons and buttonholes. Okay, I can hardly believe this, but there are only 2 things left on the list. 1, 2. That means I can finish this today. I didn't finish it, which means that it will be done a day and a half before it needs to be. I finished this morning. I'm gonna do point number 8 here, which is to hem the bottom. Okay, you know what? I'm really struggling to make the bottom ends of this side that will have the buttons line up nicely, because every time I make a change, I come back and then, I don't know, it doesn't work. Probably because I'm not able to put them on top of each other in exactly the same way every time. So I have now pressed and pinned the bottom hem. I think the sewing will have to wait until after the buttons are on. I think I will first sew in a hook and eye here, because the placement of this has to be spot on and everything else depends on it, so I will just start there. And then because the side is less scary, I will do the buttons there first, and then I will do the buttons on the front, starting from the corner. I've spaced out my buttons with 5 centimeters in between them, so I now have 5 buttons on the side here and 7 up here. You know, I did feel like things were going a bit too smoothly. Okay, that was the last one. All 12.
No